Lauren who knows the answer.
He arranged it. Organized it.
Organized it from where?
The Catholic Missal?
Uh-huh. Very good. Okay, Elizabeth I.
Henry's daughter.
Henry's daughter. By who? Who was her mother?
Daughter of the King of Spain.
Catherine of Aragon.
That was his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, and her daughter was Mary.
Yeah.
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary. Okay. Second wife was Anne Boleyn, and her daughter was
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Okay. The history of Henry VIII and his wives, the 6 wives of Henry VIII, divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. Easy to remember. So, divorced, Catherine of Aragon, beheaded, Anne Boleyn, died, Jane Seymour. Divorced, she was a German princess, I'm thinking, maybe not. Beheaded was a very young woman who was about Mary's age, so that didn't last. And survived was his last wife. Names are still lost to me sometimes, but I remember Mary and Elizabeth and a few of his other wives. So, Thomas Cranmer arranged the Book of Common Prayer from the Catholic Missal, made it readable, and made it available to the people. Elizabeth I took that Book of Common Prayer and made it the book of prayer for all of England. And we are it is our ancestry. Okay? If you take a book from the Church of England, it is called Common Prayer. I have one in my office. Richard, do you have a Common Prayer from England?
Oh yeah. You see, a Common Prayer.
Okay.
Well, but this was maybe the 928. Yeah, this is the 28 one.
Okay.
This is Canada.
Okay. How similar are they to the Episcopal Book of Common Prayer?
I think almost identical.
Okay, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, at least I didn't have any surprises that I remember when I came down.
Okay. Yes, if you take any Book of Common Prayer, England, Canada, New Zealand has a prayer book, Scotland, Ireland, any place where you have an Anglican communion, Nigeria, any place in Africa, any place in Europe, you will find that they are very, very similar. So we're going to explore the Book of Common Prayer tonight. But the question is that we have here is, why do we use it? Why do we use the Book of Common Prayer?
So if we walk into any church, it's the same.
Yes.
Which is nice. I like that.
Yes, it's
If
wonderful.
you go on vacation, you don't miss anything.
Yeah, yeah. It's part of the, what do you call the whole scope of anybody who uses a common prayer book, what do you call that? The whole thing. Anglican Communion. Okay? We are part of the Anglican Communion. Anglican meaning English or England. Somebody's phone is ringing.
We're toys.
Nobody's? Okay. Part of the Anglican Communion is all of the churches that are associated with the original Book of Common Prayer, Thomas Cranmer. We are the Episcopal Church, Episcopacy meaning?
Bishops.
Bishops, correct. Because our overseers are bishops. Okay? Who is and one of the words that they use, which doesn't sound so wonderful, but one of the words that are used are the primates. Not primates as unto animals or apes or anything like that. Who is our primate?
Is it our bishop, I'm guessing?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
The presiding bishop.
Presiding Bishop Catherine Jefferts Shorey. Correct. Who came to see us a year ago May, for our closing bicentennial. Okay? Below her are who?
The diocesan bishop.
Mm-hmm. Are the diocesan bishops. Our bishop is who? What's her name?
Buddy?
Marianne Edgar Buddy. Okay.
I'm a little slow. What was the overarching?
The
higher
presiding
and
bishop?
Presiding. Okay.
Now,
and what's
over
that
her is
Oh,
who?
diocese?
All of you.
The Archbishop of Canterbury.
Archbishop of Canterbury. Who is that now? Somebody will need to tell me because I knew who it was.
What's the question?
Who is the
Canterbury.
Archbishop of Canterbury?
I don't know, it's in the book. It's in this book.
No idea.
Okay, well, it was Rowan Williams. Rowan Williams has retired, and we have a new Archbishop of Canterbury who's been in office a little over a year. And his name is not known to me, but if somebody wants to look it up, that would be great. So we have the Archbishop of Canterbury, we have our bishop, who's called the presiding bishop. Presiding bishops would be in all of the different areas of the Anglican Communion, okay? After the presiding bishop are the diocesan bishops. And who is next in line after the diocesan bishop?
Our priest.
Priest, okay?
Justin Welby.
Justin Welby, okay.
Is the
Canterbury.
Archbishop of Canterbury.
Canterbury
Yeah.
is Justin
Justin
Welby,
Welby.
thank
Yeah,
you.
that makes sense.
Kind of like Marcus Welby, MD.
That's a whole nother lifetime ago right there.
For
I
those of you
barely
who are
know
old enough
that.
to remember, that's how you spell his name, Justin Welby. So after the Marianne Edgar Buddy, who was our bishop, are the priests. After the priests are
Deacons.
deacons. Who is our deacon? You're right, we don't have one. That's why all of them look. There are beginning to be deacons per region. So there is a Montgomery County deacon by the name of Terry, I'll get it, I cannot remember her last name right now. She serves at the churches of St. Nicholas in Darnestown and Ascension in Silver Spring. But she is available to all parishes in Montgomery County. There is a deacon for Prince George's County. His place of worship is St. Andrew's College Park. I do not know the other deacons for the other regions. There are how many regions in the Diocese of Washington, D.C.? Do you have any idea?
I think it's 6.
6, very good. Okay. What are the regions?
Regions 1 through 6.
Right. So
My name.
region 1 would be,
That I forget.
okay, region 1 would be right around the cathedral, Washington, D.C. Region 2 is also the wider area of Washington, D.C. Region 3 is us, Upper Montgomery County. Region 4, believe it or not, is St. John's is in Region 4, even though it is literally down the street from us. It's Lower Montgomery County. Region 5 is Prince George's County, and a little bit into Charles. Region 6 is Charles and St. Mary's County, a huge area for Region 6.
I have a question. Maybe
Yes.
I'm jumping ahead, but
No, go
can
ahead.
you? I've always been confused about with bishops, like who's a very reverend and a most reverend and a right reverend. Can you explain that?
I will do my
And the
best.
very most
I will do my
reverend.
best.
Okay.
The Right Reverend Marianne Edgar Buddy is a diocesan bishop. The Very Reverend is, I believe, a dean of a cathedral.
Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to remember what Catherine Jefferts Shorey is. She may be the most
I
reverend.
think she was.
Catherine Jefferts Shorey. And anybody above that, Archbishop Canterbury, is an archbishop. I think that's how it delineates.
Okay.
I know that our bishop is the Right Reverend. That's about, that I am sure of. The others are, if I'm wrong, you know what, that's okay. You can look them up.
Do you use those terms when you address them?
Usually I say bishop. I don't have to call her the Right
Right.
Reverend Marian Edgar Buddy. I think she probably would look at me like I was strange. She actually likes to be called Marianne. She is not a formal person at all. She is a, you'll find out if you have not met her or spoken with her. She will be with us on November 9th, okay? She is a very personable bishop. She likes to be with people. She enjoys that. I have just found her to be like that. Other bishops before her, Bishop Chain, was a bit more formal. I remember as a young priest, well, not a young priest, as a newly ordained priest, I asked him what he wanted to be called, and he said John. That did not hold true. It was Bishop Chain. The same with Jane Holmes Dixon, who was before him, was Bishop Dixon. And before her was Bishop Hames, Ron Hames. Marianne is the first bishop that most people call by her first name. So.
Also probably leaving ahead, but what does a deacon do?
Whatever the priest wants them to.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, no, that is not, that, well, when I graduated from seminary, I was ordained as a deacon for 6 months. I was a transitional deacon, okay? Terry Murphy, that's her name. Terry is a permanent deacon, and so she works with the priests, you know, at Ascension and at St. Nicholas. She does a lot with the youth. She does a lot with Christian education. Really, a deacon does more along the lines of what is their primary ministry focus. They are not a lay person. They are kind of the in-between, the lay people, the laity, and the priest, if a church has a deacon. Most deacons have a singular or perhaps double focus. Terry has that. When I was in a church down in North Carolina, we had a deacon who really focused on youth. So really they have a sense of what their ministry is. A priest has to be aware of all of the ministries in that particular parish. Not necessarily go to all the meetings, but be aware of all the ministries that happen. Okay, any other comments before we move on? Okay, is everybody still with us? Yeah? Okay, nobody's fallen asleep yet? Okay.
Eyes are still open.
Okay, that's good. Okay, did you all bring a Book of Common Prayer with you?
No, because you told me to bring it.
Okay. Eric, this is yours. It came.
Oh, thank you.
That's yours. If you need a Book of Common Prayer, please tell me. I will order you one. I just ordered Chris one because he did not have one. Okay. Do you have a prayer book with you? Okay.
Why is Eric's thicker than most?
Because it's the same thing. It's just, like this is very thin, but it is exactly the same book.
Maybe a heavier paper in here?
It's,
I have
so
one
the
like
print is
that.
larger?
I have one
really?
like that. That's,
It just looks-
it's kind of stubby as opposed to, I mean, it's the same size, but
It's thicker.
maybe the print is smaller.
Mine's really thin.
Yeah.
Yours
No, the print, you know, John, I don't know the answer because the print is
Print
the
is the
same
same?
in all of them.
Does it have a scripture in it? That book?
No,
No.
What you need a description.
no.
Can I
Okay,
borrow
who
one now?
needs a prayer
We
book?
need a prayer book.
Oh, Lauren?
We did.
Here.
I got one.
And if you could give this one to the McMurtry's, please. Okay, Lauren, will you pull out your daily office book? Okay. Before we get to the prayer book, this is called the Contemporary Office Book. I have it in my office. Lauren has one, because I recommended that she buy it a couple years ago because we did evening prayer together for a while. This book has morning prayer, evening prayer, like the Book of Common Prayer does, okay? It has all of the Psalms, but it has all of the readings for morning and evening prayer. Okay, it does not have the readings for the Eucharist because it is called the Contemporary Office Book. Office meaning morning prayer, noon prayer, evening prayer, compline. If you are a member of vestry, we do compline at the end of all of our vestry meetings. Okay, and that comes from the Book of Common Prayer, but we also have it in this. If you want to do morning prayer / evening prayer, this is a handy book to have because then you don't have to. You have one.